Alright, on APBA Go, I'm going to play some Master Game, and this is the 1978 season now. It's going to be a Cincinnati and Houston home opener for Cincinnati, and it's going to be J.R. Richard and Tom Seaver here. 1978 baseball on APBA Go. We are using the Master Game rules, and Terry Poole is going to lead it off against Seaver. And here we go. Seaver looks like he is a B pitcher. Poole is a +1 against righties, so that means he's a 13 normally. That would be in the B category. And we got a 3-1, which was a 9, but Seaver's going to change that to a 27, and that's going to be an out. Rose to Dreesen, 1 out. So there's a pitcher change, and pitcher result change that took a hit away. And that'll bring up Enos Cabell. He's -1. That'll bring Seaver up to a 14. And on a 43-29, that's just it's going to end up being a strikeout. Seaver has an X, so I think that ended up being a strikeout because of the X. 2 out. And here's Cedeno. And Cedeno rolled a 55-8, and he gets a base hit, so he's on first with 2 out for Jose Cruz. And Cedeno is going to steal second on that play. So Cedeno steals second on that play. Or did he not? Said he makes a successful steal. They didn't move him. Cedeno singles to left. 8 against Cedeno's 33. Cedeno makes a successful steal, but he's still on first. So there we go. Now they jumped him to second. Alright, and now we get a 54-32, and that's just a fly ball to Griffey. So Cedeno will be stranded, and we're going to go to the bottom of the first. Pete Rose, and on a 22-0, and then a 11-1, Pete Rose goes deep, leading it off and giving the Reds a 1-0 lead. How about that? Pete Rose leads off with a homer. He did have 7 in 1978, and there's his first. Bring up Griffey. J.R. Richard gives up a home run. Griffey against righties is a 0. So Richard's 14 is where he is normally. And that also makes him a high B pitcher. 15 would start A. 35-9, and that is a base hit for Griffey. So a rude start for Richard. A homer and a single. Griffey, a fast runner on first. We don't have the steal option here in the first inning on him, and Joe Morgan will bat. And on a 35-14, that's going to be a walk. So a homer, a single, and a walk here for Cincinnati. Good start to their season here. First and second, nobody out, and it's going to bring up George Foster. And that's a 24. That's shortstop. Looks like, is that a double play? Foster out, Griffey takes third, Morgan out at second. Yeah, double play. So they get the double play, 6-4-3. Sends Griffey to third with 2 out for Dreesen. So now they're going to need a big 2-out hit. 2-4 is a 13 and a strikeout. So J.R. Richard got himself together quickly there, double play and a strikeout. But Rose's homer gives the Reds a 1-0 lead. Here's Watson leading off against Seaver. And he rolls a 12 and a 25, and then the X kicks in for a strikeout, I believe. So 1 out, and here's Pujols. 53-20, and this is going to be an error on Morgan. So Morgan, E4, runner on first, 1 out for Art Howe. And he rolled a 33-0 and then a 31-6, and that's a double. Pujols is going to stop at third. Second and third for Jimmy Sexton with 1 out. It's early. I'm going to play back. I'll give up a run for the out. And on a 46-29, Sexton is out. Pitcher to Dreesen, and the runners hold. So Seaver was able to knock down a line drive and get the out, holding the runners. 2 out, second and third, and now the pitcher, J.R. Richard, bats. That's unfortunate for Houston, and now Richard strikes out. And we're going to go to the bottom of the second inning. Reds hold on to their lead. Houston misses a chance there. Here's Johnny Bench. And on a 55, would have been an 8, but we get a pitcher result change here to a 30, and that's just going to be a fly out to Poole. So that's another hit taken away. 1 out. Here's Concepcion. And on a 66-0 and then a 65-8, that's a base hit for Concepcion. He's on first with 1 out. Now we do have steal option here. Geronimo's up. Seaver is on deck. Concepcion is a D27. So here's a 27. 23 steals, 10 caught. Let's try and steal here with Concepcion. There we go. And he's out. Pujols to Sexton, so Pujols gets him. And Concepcion is out trying to steal. There's now 2 out for Geronimo. We had 30 chances. We rolled 34 chances. So here's an 8 and a base hit for Geronimo. So that stealing looms large there. Could have scored the run if he was safe. 2 out now for Seaver with Geronimo on. And that is a 36 and a wild pitch. It's a 25-36, and that's going to get Geronimo to second. Seaver hit 122, so not too much of a hitter. 34-31, and that's just a fly out to Cedeno. We go top 3. Terry Poole leads it off. Again, he's 0 for 1, I believe. And there's a 14, that's a 30, and it's a fielding 3 play for the left fielder, and Foster makes the play. 1 out. Enos Cabell struck out his first time up. And that's a 19. That's a fielding 3 play, third base, and that's an error on Rose. So Reds have made 2 errors. 1 Morgan, 1 Rose. Runner on first, 1 out for Cedeno. Seaver not too happy about his defense behind him. And now a 55-8 is a base hit. Cabell's going to stop at second. First and second, 1 out. And that was a line drive to left, so no time for Cabell to get to third. Here's Cruz, first and second, 1 out. Seaver in a little bit of trouble again. And that's a 14, and that's going to load the bases with 1 out. Again, I'm going to play back. I don't want to give up a big inning. I'll give up a run. Here's Watson, bases loaded, 1 out. And a 34-31, that's a fielding 1 play for the center fielder. It's a fly out, and the runners are going to hold. So bases are loaded, 2 out for Pujols. And on a 36-33, that's a fielding 1 play for the first baseman. A line drive to Dreesen ends the inning. So we go bottom 3. Pete Rose leads it off. It's his home run that's the difference in this game. And on a 16-28, Rose is going to end up striking out. Richards is a K and a W, 1 out. And that'll bring up Griffey. And there's a 27, and that's out. Cabell to Watson. Grounded to third, 2 out. Joe Morgan will bat. And he rolled a 22, but Richard is able to change that 8 to a 30, and it's a line out to Poole. So another hit taken away by these 2 good pitchers. So we go top 4. It's 1-0. Art Howell bat. And he rolls a 24-13 and strikes out. That is Seaver's, looks like, 4th strikeout. Bring up Jimmy Sexton. And on a 51-14, that's going to be a walk. So Sexton is on first with 1 out for Richard. And a 1 is rolled against Sexton's 32, and he makes a successful steal. So now Richard's up with Sexton on second. A little bit of a delay to move him to second. There's a 24-13, and Richard strikes out. That's 5 for Seaver. Runner on second, 2 out for Terry Poole. And he rolls a 26-27. That's a fielding 3 play for the third baseman, and he is out. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 4th. The Astros have been stranding some runners. It's 1-0. Foster leads it off against Richard. And another 8 gets changed, this time to a 32, and the right fielder makes the play. 1 out. Bring up Dreesen. and has an 18, a fielding 3 play for the shortstop, and that's an error on Sexton. So that's a first Houston error. Runner on first, 1 out. Again, we do have the steal option on Dreesen. He stole 28 bases and was only caught 9 times. He's a D29. First time was not successful. 1 out. Benches. I'm going to let bench hit here. And there's a 25, and that's a fielding 3 play for the right fielder and a fly out. Asking me if I want to tag. I do not. So with 2 out, I think I'm going to try and steal here. Let's try and get Dreesen a second. We are going to try and steal. We were unsuccessful last time. Looks like we have 32 chances. And this is an out again. 36 against 32. So looks like we might have rolled double sixes there. And we're going to go to the 5th inning, as that ends the inning on the caught stealing. Here's Cabell facing Seaver. And there's a 26, and Cabell is out. 4-3. Grounded Morgan, 1 out. Bring up Cedeno. And 22 is an 8. This 8 sticks. It's a base hit for Cedeno. He's on first with 1 out for Cruz. And looks like Cedeno is going to successfully steal. So I've been caught twice. Houston is stealing at will against Johnny Bench. What is Bench has got to be pretty. He's 2 on the throw. What is Seaver on the hold? 0. Okay. Cruz will bat with Cedeno on second now. And that's a 28. It's a fielding 1 play for the shortstop. Cruz is out. And it looks like the runner is going to hold. So 2 out for Watson. We'll try and get Watson. And on a 13-14, he's going to walk. First and second 2 out for Pujols. And there's a 33, and it's a fielding 1 play for the short, and he pops it up, and Concepcion takes care of that. We go bottom 5, 1-0 Cincinnati. Good pitcher's duel between Richard and Seaver. Concepcion will bat. And on a 31, that's a fly out to Cedeno, 1 out. And here's Geronimo. He rolled a 33-0, then he rolls a 23-6, and he ends up with a double in the right center field gap. So Geronimo is on second with 1 out. Seaver will just swing. He's already in scoring position, so I'm not going to bunt. It's a 14-30. It's a fly out to Terry Poole. 20 chances. I'm going to hold. I'm not going to make the last out at third base. He's still already in scoring position. Give Rose a chance with a runner on second and 2 out. And 14 is going to be a walk, so Rose is on. First and second, it's up to Griffey against Richard. And there is a 14 and a 30, and Griffey ends up striking out on, I think Richard's, I forgot Richard, I think was a K, so it's probably the K there. And it's 1-0 going to the top of the 6th. Here's Art Howe. And on a 62-30, he flies to Forster, 1 out. Bring up Sexton. 53-20, and that's an error on Morgan. That's Morgan's second error of the game. Morgan, 2 errors in this game. Sexton on first with 1 out for Richard. And Sexton steals. So he's on second for J.R. Richard. And now looks like Alou is going to come up for Richard with Sexton on second in scoring position. They're going to try and score the run right here. And on a 44-7, he gets a base hit. Sexton to third. They're not going to try and score him. And that brings up Poole. And on a 22, that changes to a 34. So that was going to be a hit. It changes to a 34. It's a fly to left. The offense is going for an extra base, so they're going to try and score Sexton here. Looks like he has 35 chances. 35 chances. Yeah, it's 49 minus 14. So that's 35 chances. There's only 1 chance to throw him out, but there's 2 out. Let's throw anyway. What the hell? And the defense throws to catch him, and he successfully advances, and there's no other runners advancing. So It is 1-1. The game is tied on the sac fly there by Poole. Runner on first, 2 out for Cabell. And there's a 36-14, and he walks. That pushes the go-ahead run to second for Cedeno. And a 66-1, and Cedeno, it's a 3-run homer off Seaver. Just like that, it's 4-1. Cedeno, who had 7 himself in 78, he hits a home run off Seaver, and it's 4-1 Astros. Reds shell-shocked here, as is Seaver. Here's Cruz. And on a 1-2-25, that's just a strikeout on the X, and we will go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Forsch comes in for Houston, and Joe Morgan will lead it off. Reds all of a sudden down by 3. And Morgan's on with a walk, though. Bring up Foster, down 3. He's going to stay put, and Foster strikes out, 1 out. Bring up Dreesen. And Dreesen on a 45-14. Oh, that's just 2 balls because Forsch is a Z. So he avoids the walk with the Z, and it's just 2 balls on Dreesen. And now a 51, and that was a 9, but it's going to change to a 33, and he pops up to Cabell. So 2 out for Johnny Bench. And there's a 14, and again, Forsch is able to avoid the walk with the Z, and it's just 2 balls. So that's 2 walks that Forsch was able to avoid. And now the 43-29, and because he was, I think he's also an X or a Y or whatever, he gets the strikeout. So we're going to the top of the 7th. Seaver's still in there. He's gonna come up next inning, so see if he can get through this inning. And on a 1-1-0 and then a 62-6, Watson doubles. So Watson's on second, nobody out for Pujols. And there's a strikeout, 1 out on a 13, 1 out. Bring up Art Howe as they work towards their bottom of the order. 54 is a 32, that's a fielding 2 play and a fly to right, 2 out. Runner holds. Here's Sexton. And on a 15-11, that's a base hit. That's a base hit. And Watson to third, and a 28 is rolled against Sexton's 33. Sexton makes a successful advance. Does he take second on that play? I don't know what that meant, but okay. Here is Forsch. Yeah, he took second on that play. Well, Watson didn't move, so that's weird. 63-32 and a strikeout. So he does get out of the inning. It's 4-1 bottom 7. But Sexton was able to stretch that to a double, but Watson stayed at third. Here's Concepcion facing Forsch. And there's a strikeout, 1 out. Bring up Geronimo. And Geronimo on a 29. It's a fielding 3 play, and it's back to Forsch over to Watson. 1-3, 2 out. And Seaver's going to have to come out now, even with 2 out, nobody on. Spillman, Oster, Lum, Summers. A lot of similar numbers and on base percentage. Maybe we'll just go with Oster, who's probably didn't play a lot, but he has a high average. So 2 out, nobody on. We just want someone to get on. Oster will pinch hit. And he's going to make out. Looks like he struck out. So now we need a new pitcher. Lefty, righty, righty for them. 4-1. And we'll go with Murray. So Murray's going to come in, and he's going to face Terry Poole. It's 4-1, top 8. Cedeno with a 3-run homer. And there's a 32-26, and that's just a 4-3, 1 out. Cabell on a 52-27 is out on a 5-3 to Pete Rose, 2 out. And here's Cedeno, the man of the hour for the Astros. And there's a 6 and a double, so he adds a double to his day, and he's on second with 2 out for Cruz. And Cruz On a 36 is just a fielding to play for the shortstop, and he pops up to Concepcion. So we're going to go bottom 8. Rose will lead it off now against Andujar. Andujar is in, and there's a 29, and that's just a grounder, looks like, to Andujar. 1-3, 1 out. Griffey on a 27, that's out on a 5-3 to Cabell, 2 out. Joe Morgan. And Morgan on a 24-32 flies to Cruz. We go to the 9th. Astros lead at 4-1. Watson will lead off against Murray. And there's a 28 and grounded a short, 1 out. Bring up Pujols. And there's a 32. It's a fielding to play for the right fielder and a line out to Griffey, 2 out. Here's Howe. And Art Howe on a 34-31 is just going to fly out to center. So here we go, bottom 9. Joe Sambito is going to come in to try and, I believe this is still a save, 3-run game. George Forster will lead it off. And he struck him out, 1 out. Sambito's lefty, so maybe we want to look for one of our righties off the bench here. We don't have a lot. Auerbach hit 327 now, so it's good enough for me. He'll pinch hit against the lefty Sambito. And he's going to roll a 23-12, and that is a ground out to first base. So 2 out, nobody on. Reds down to their last out. It's Johnny Bench. Looks like Cedeno's homer is going to be the decider. And a 26 is a out. Art Howe to Bob Watson, and the Astros win on opening day. They score 4 in the 6th to upset Tom Seaver. It was Cesar Cedeno with a 3-run homer that was the difference in this game. Rose homered for the Reds, but that's all they got. And the Astros on opening day beat the Reds 4-9-1 for Houston, 1-5 and 3 errors for Cincinnati. And J.R. Richard beats Tom Seaver on opening day. All right, thanks for watching.